New certification procedures. Applications. Individual applies for a certificate. To receive an evaluation, the application status must be in a ready for review status. All supporting documentation must be received prior to the first manual evaluation. The application will be manually evaluated, with or without supporting documentation. OC and BOCES applicants should submit supporting documents to the Regional Certification Office. All New York State Education Department applicants should submit supporting documents to the Office of Teaching Initiatives in Albany. Applications continuing. The applications will remain active, which would be pending for review, for 2 manual evaluations or 3 years, whichever comes first. If an individual is deficient a requirement or requirements, they will be forwarded a notice of uncompleted requirements. This is for the first manual evaluation. If an individual or a district submits a supporting document or documents, this will place the application back into a ready for review status for another manual evaluation. This would be considered the second evaluation. If the individual still has unmet requirements after the second evaluation, the application is unfortunately disapproved. The individual will need to submit a new application and fee for the certificate. An important reminder: all documents submitted for certification must include identifying information in order to be associated with the Teach account. This would include an individual's name exactly as it appears on their Teach account, the last 4 digits of his or her Social Security number, his or her date of birth. Keep in mind, if the applicant's name on the individual's high school diploma and/or transcript does not match their Teach account, additional documentation will be needed to verify the name change. Example of the documentation would be a marriage license. This too must contain the individual's last 4 digits of their Social Security number and date of birth. This is an example. We receive a high school diploma in the name of Jane Doe. There is nothing on when we receive it. However, they have typed in or handwritten in their date of birth and last 4 digits of their Social Security number. Please don't forget to make sure you add this information in order for the document to be coinciding with your Teach account. When submitting transcripts, an individual must submit official transcripts in the original sealed envelope. Photocopies, faxes, student copies, grade reports, and digital non-paper transcripts are unacceptable. Transcripts must contain an individual's identifying information. And again, this would be the last 4 digits of your social and/or the date of birth. Third-party transcripts are unacceptable. Procedure changes for expedited service applications. Expedited service applications, we are no longer expediting applicants for the following certificates: a certificate progression, a teaching assistant application, and a coaching application. What is a certificate progression? Any applicant who holds a time-sensitive certificate and is required to progress to a professional or permanent certificate, an initial to a professional, a provisional to a permanent, a transitional to an initial, or a transitional to a professional. The teaching assistant applications are no longer expedited, and this would include your Level 1, your Level 1 renewal, your Level 2, and your Level 3 certificates. Coaching applications are no longer expedited. This includes your temporary coaching license, your temporary coaching license first renewal, temporary coaching license second through fourth renewals, professional coaching license, professional coaching license renewals. What qualifies an application to be expedited? Applications must be on file for at least 2 weeks prior to the expedited service request. It needs to be in a ready for review status. The application also has to have the required exams posted as a pass on their Teach account. Required workshops are posted as being completed. Transcripts to be determined by the regional certification officer and/or an evaluator at the New York State Ed Department. This is an update for verification of experience. The procedure in this has changed. The experience verification form procedures for school administrators and classroom teachers and pupil personnel services has changed. You must complete a form that is an experience verification form. The individual and/or applicant completes Section 1. Section 2 and Section 3 is to be completed by the superintendent, head of human resource, or chief school officer. The employer must email the employee's individual's completed experience form to the New York State Ed Department at otiverif@nysed.gov. And please be sure to CC the regional certification officer in your area. An important reminder, the experience form for the first professional certificate is as follows. Candidates who hold an initial certificate effective February 1st, 2014 or later, the teaching experience must be in the content area level of the certificate sought for 3 years. Candidates who hold an initial certificate effective prior to February 1st, 2014, the teaching experience can be in any content area level of the certificate sought for 3 years. Please remember, 180 days is equivalent to 1 school year. The verification experience forms are similar to this. You're looking at the verification form for a school administrator only. Please make sure again, the school administrator and PPS or teacher completes Section 1 only. Experience verification forms may be downloaded from the Office of Teaching Initiatives website at www.highered.nsd.gov. nysed.gov/TCERT, TCERT. From the homepage of the Office of Teaching Initiatives, go to the Topics A to Z icon. Select the letter E. Click on the bulleted subtitle Experience Verification Forms. Select the correct form that corresponds to the certificate you are seeking. Experience verification procedure for teaching assistants. Level 2 and TA Level 3 teaching assistants experience is now completed through the Teach system. 180 days is equivalent to 1 school year for a teaching assistant. This is an example of the verification of teaching experience that is now entered into the superintendent statement. You would choose verification of TA experience, other school services, the area of teaching assistants, a grade level of pre-K through grade 12. Select a title, Teaching Assistants. Type of certificate is Level 2. Again, you can put in type of certificate, Level 2, as the example. You would need to put in the full-time date from starting to end. Total number of days full-time and or from part-time. Starting date and end date. Total numbers that is equivalent into full-time days. You would enter the district. Then you would verify the individual listed above for the superintendent statement is true. You would sign and enter the statement. Procedure change for superintendent statements. There is now a box for the employer to enter the name of the school district in which an individual will be employed for the following areas: Teaching Assistant Level 1 renewal, all temporary coaching levels, all adult education certificates. Again, this is done through the superintendent statement. This is your example. You would input the person's last name and first name. And again, TA Level 1 renewal is what we're using for our example. Area of interest, other school service. Subject area, teaching assistants. Grade level, pre-K through grade 12. And the title, teaching assistant. The type of certificate, Level 1 renewal. The date the candidate will become employed. The school district. And then again, certifying that everything, in this instance, the TA will be employed for at least 1 school year underneath the TA Level 1 renewal. You would sign and enter the statement. For temporary coaching, select the type. Again, other school services, coaching, grade level, adolescent 712, select a title, track and field 712 as the example, type of certificate, temporary coaching license. You would enter your school district and the date the coach will become employed or volunteering. Again, you would certify that everything is true, and you would sign and enter the statement. Procedures for name change and or a change of your Social Security number. An individual may now change their name or their Social Security number within their own Teach account. they would click on Verify and Update their profile. They would click on Edit Personal Information. They would enter the new information, and then they would click on Request Name Change. After completing, they are going to upload supporting documentations. We're choosing the file of a marriage license document. And for the Social Security number, they would edit their personal information as they did for the name change, enter the correct Social Security number, click on Request Social Security Number Change. Once uploaded, they would submit. Third-year time extensions. The amendment of Section 80-1.6 of the Regulations of the Commissioner of Education automatically extends a time validity of a certain expired provisional, initial, or transitional certificates for 3 years if the candidate meets certain criteria and is unable to complete the requirements for the initial, permanent, or professional certificate in a timely manner. This was an adopted proposal in February of 2017. New coaching procedures. Individuals apply for a coaching license and selects the OCM-BOCES office to evaluate. To receive an evaluation, the application status must be in a ready for review status, meaning fee must be on file. All supporting documentation must be received prior to the first manual evaluation. The application will be manually evaluated with or without supporting documentation. OCM-BOCES applicants should submit supporting documentations to the Regional Certification Office. All New York State Education Department applications should submit supporting documentations to the Office of Teaching Initiatives in Albany. The application will remain as active, which would be pending for review, for 2 manual evaluations or 3 years, whichever comes first. If an individual is deficient a requirement or requirements, they will be forwarded a notice of uncompleted requirements. This is for the first manual evaluation. If an individual or district submits a supporting document or documents, this will place the applicant back into a ready for review status for another manual evaluation, making this the second evaluation. If the individual still has unmet requirements, the application is unfortunately disapproved. The individual will need to submit a new application and fee for the license. If an individual applies for a coaching license and the application is still pending after the sport or season is over, then submit supporting documentation. The license will not be issued. This also includes the district statements. The individual's name must appear as it appears on their Teach account. The last 4 digits of his or her Social Security number must also be posted on all documents. Also, his or her date of birth. Documents for coaching that require the identifying information include the first aid and CPR cards, all coaching coursework, the philosophy, principles, and organizations of athletics, the health and safety applied to coaching, theory and technique of coaching with the sport, AIC Level 1 certificate, and the CIC Level 2 certificate. Coaching evaluations must include the pertinent personal information. Workshop completion verifications, citizenship documents, name change and Social Security number change request documentation. All applicants initiated correspondence in general need pertinent personal information included. New York State has issued new templates for first aid and CPR. As you can see, they contain the last four of the Social Security number to be posted, as well as the date of birth of the coach. The forms will also have, for the coaching coursework, posted the last four digits of the social and their date of birth. Individuals who apply through OCM BOCES office will be sent a notice of required and/or incorrect documents. If the district submits on the behalf of an individual, the district must check documents' accuracy prior to submitting. This would include the individual's identifying information on all documents. Acceptable New York State Education Department workshop verification forms. Acceptable first aid and CPR cards. Individual signature on all requiring documents. This would include first aid and CPR cards, all workshop certificates, and all coaching evaluations. Acceptable documentation. State Ed has put out a chart to assist in the determination of a document being accepted. Please refer to the handout if you are in question upon what is to be acceptable for a state application. This would include unacceptable child abuse certificates. As you can see, if someone takes, as an example, through the mandated reporting training, this form is not accepted by the State Education Department. The individual needs to obtain the New York State Ed certification of completion of the child abuse. This one would be acceptable that is highlighted in yellow. Again, what's highlighted, this needs to be completed by the individual, and they need to sign and date the form. If they neglect in error to print out the acceptable New York State Education Department form, they would need to contact the customer service at the mandated reporting trainer from the Office of Children and Family Services at mrcustomer-service@bsc-cdhs.org. For additional information, please call OCM BOCES Regional Certification Office at 315-433-2628. The certification office hours are open Monday through Friday, and the certification line is open during the hours of 8:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Thank you, and again, if you need any help or questions, please contact us. Have a good day.